Thank you, buddy. Yeah. We're gathered here today in this beautiful spot, in this beautiful day, to witness one of life's great moments, celebrate and join in the union of Jake Hunter, Melissa Tislow. Some of you traveled from very far to get here. Some of you had to make special arrangements to get here. But you're here today for a reason, and that's because you're part of their bigger community, part of their community of loved ones. We're here to rejoice in the way that life has brought these two together and brought them here to where we are today. We're here to show our support for a couple beginning a new part of their life, a new chapter. And as Melissa gets ready to pack up and leave the islands and the salt water and head to the plains, cornfields.
I'm sorry.
Thunderstorms.
Anything for you, Jay?
We know that she carries a piece of us with her as she goes to meet with Jake. And wherever they go in life, they carry that with them. We're here to celebrate the union of two young people in love, two Sea Scouts whose courses crossed again.
Yeah.
Was it some divine intervention that brought Jake down to Fisherman's Terminal that day onto the propeller? Or was it parents trying to give their son another experience?
Is the engine room.
Was it the inexorable pull of the tides that forced them together? Or the dress blues? We don't know. Probably more to do with a mother's encouragement to call it. Looking at her. When Melissa first asked me if I would perform their ceremony, I was thrilled, but I had to think about it. It's been a while. I married a few couples in the heady grunge days of the mid-90s, but it's been a while. And I had to think about those ceremonies, what I'd said and what we'd done. And I realized that although they were wonderful and they're both still together, by the way, I'm batting 1,000, that I didn't really know what I thought I knew about love and marriage. I knew about love. I'd met my future wife, we were together, but marriage is something different. And I'd seen my parents, and I thought I knew what they had been through, but you realize they shelter a lot. So today, after 14 years, 5 cats, 2 kids, I can say I know a little bit more. And let me tell you, it's a wonderful thing. You're doing the right thing. The comfort of knowing that somebody else is going to be there with you, someone to celebrate the celebrations. What fun is it to celebrate that? But also knowing that that person will be there and help you with the button when you break your arm skateboarding. Very valuable. But you've only done the first part, and this is the easy part. You found someone, you fell in love, you got people here. The next part is the challenge. Marriage is so many things that people won't tell you about, things that you can't know, things that can't be foreseen. You may find yourself driving to the hospital at 4 in the morning, hanging out the window because the defroster doesn't work and this baby's coming. You may find yourself trying to help your partner, that feeling of helplessness that comes over you when you see them in pain, and all you can do is let them squeeze your hand. Or that incredible bittersweet joy of seeing your baby for the first time, realizing they got Grandpa's nose. But don't be deterred, don't be daunted by the challenges ahead. Having that connection with one other person, this reciprocal relationship, is part of what makes life worth living. It becomes part of your life. And I know you're not the kind to shy away from hard work, whether it's scraping and painting, whether it's nursing, whether it's being in the Army, that you understand that hard work pays off. And I encourage you to put that into your relationship, put that into your marriage, and work at it as you do with other things in your life. Now, many of you may know I had Melissa as a student in high school, and one of the things I always tell my new students is to get involved, to join up, to do something, whether it's in school or out of school. And I didn't have Jake in school. That's probably okay. That's probably well, I'm told he was pretty shy. But I picture Jake as one of those students that we have many of, who's looking for something more, who's a little bored in high school, who needs something hands-on, who needs something relevant to his life. And I think he found that when he got down in the engine room. He realized what was going on down there.
Big, shiny, and yellow.
After high school, he did something a little different, a lot young men have done for centuries now, and he found a way to get away, do something different, and join the military. When you do that at a young age, it's hard to come back home and relate to other people. You've seen things, you've experienced things that they can't understand. And I see that in Jake. I see a maturity and a responsibility in him that I don't see in a lot of young people. And because of that, I'm comfortable giving Jake my blessing for moving on in this next phase. Now, Melissa I did have as a student, and as you know, if you know her, she's a marvelous, hardworking student. I think her sister encouraged her to sign up for a program that she didn't really know much about. And she jumped in with both feet and got involved, and then came back one day and said they've gotten involved in something called the Sea Scouts. And I was kind of surprised. I wasn't sure if they would stick with it. And I know the recruiting on the propeller was much better after that. But I had to think about an event that we had in high school where we went on the steamboat, the Virginia 5. And the students were assigned a historical project. They were to have a threefold board and set it up and describe to the people whatever their topic was. And Melissa did that. She was there with her partner. But Melissa showed up in full costume. She had the dress, the glasses, and the bonnet to play the role of Thea Foss. And all night, stayed in character. Whatever was happening, Thea Foss was there. And I remember thinking how appropriate at the time, how appropriate it was. Thea Foss, for those of you who don't know, was a woman who started a company by sitting at home, much like a military wife is asked to do while her husband was gone. He was a carpenter building houses. And she stayed home and she saw an opportunity. She looked out on the water and saw sailboats, sailing ships dropping anchor, and she bought a rowboat. She went out and she picked up some sailors and brought them to shore. Went back and got some more. And she probably raised a few eyebrows. Her husband's gone and she's rowing out to the ships and bringing them back. But in the end, when her husband came home, she'd made more money than he had being away as a carpenter, and they decided to continue on with it. But I'm reminded of Melissa in 8th grade when she wanted to go to Hawaii with her class, and her parents said, "We'd love to have you go, but you need to earn the money." And she did. She babysat, she saved the money, and she did it. So I'm not worried about Melissa either. She's ready for this next step of her life and this new role in a new community. Now, when I first saw them together, I could see two young people in love. I could see they cared for one another, but I was looking for more, what is that connection? And part of it is they both experienced a lot. At this stage in their life, they've seen more than a lot of their peers have. But there's something more to them. They're the kind of people, they're both the sort of people who care about others and show that. And whether that's volunteering, and doing special people's cruises, or your life's work, or helping out Grandpa, certainly do that. And Jake, just by what he does every day. I realize he may not be there for the next 30 years, but every day he goes to work, he risks his life for other people, for all of us. And I see two people who understand what it means to sacrifice and care for others.